Okay. All right. It's now almost 3:10 on Monday, June 8th, 2020. In 2 hours, just under 2 hours, the town meeting is going to convene at the parking lot in front of the Memorial Field House in a most unusual historic day for town meeting. This is a meeting of the Needham Planning Board, sort of a pre-meeting, which we traditionally do as we prepare for town meeting. My name is Martin Jacobs, and I'm the current chair of the planning board. It's our belief that I probably should read a script that I've been reading for Zoom meetings. I'll try to go through this quickly. It may be unnecessary, but I think as a formality, I'm going to do it. Before I start, I'm going to just quickly call the roll of people who are on this call, make sure they can hear me and I can be heard by them. Our planning staff, Lee Newman.
Present.
And Alex Klee.
Present.
And the board members, in addition to me, Jean McKnight.
Present.
Ted Owens.
Here.
Adam Block.
Present.
And Paul Alpert.
Here.
All right, thank you. Our agenda is just 4 items, no presentations by anyone other than members of the board or staff. So I'm going to move to the next part of the script that I've prepared. This is an open meeting of the Needham Planning Board. This meeting is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the virus, we've been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. That is what's being done here. The order allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Information as to how to join this meeting and participate by the public has been included in our agenda. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by the law. This meeting will allow public comment. For this meeting, the Needham Planning Board is convening by Zoom app as posted on the town's website. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other people may be able to see you, and please take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. Before we turn to the first item on our agenda, please permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. As I've already said, there are no speakers anticipated other than planning staff and board members. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking, and please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. Please wait until I yield the floor to you and state your name before speaking. That really pertains more members of the public, but that's in here anyway. All right, after members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment as follows. The chair will first ask members of the public who wish to speak to identify their names and addresses only. And once I have the list of all those who wish to speak, I will call on each by name and afford 3 minutes for any comments from each. Each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. I believe that is all I need to read from this script at this time. So I'm going to turn to the first item on our agenda, which is a discussion of town meeting warrant articles. Lee, we have before us for town meeting Article 19 pertaining to the citizens petition by Children's Hospital for a pediatric medical facility. There have been some questions posed to the proponents and to the planning board with respect to our position on that article, and written answers have been posted on the town's website, as has been done with all our warrant article issues for this particular unique town meeting. So I'm open at this point for any further discussion of what people think needs to be discussed. Let me start with Lee, whether you have any thoughts.
I don't have anything to add. I think I think you covered it, that we have received comments from, or questions from 3 town meeting members, and their questions were all answered, and they received a personal email, and all those answers were in fact posted on the website. And we have filed our recommendation, our affirmative recommendation on this article with the town clerk, and we've received confirmation that she has received that formal recommendation.
Right. And just for the record, I will note that Jean is giving our presentation with respect to this article, and she pre-recorded her presentation, and that's been posted and hopefully viewed by all town meeting members in advance of the meeting. So do any other members wish to be heard on any matters regarding this?
Marty?
Yes, Paul.
One of the questions that was asked in the emails was if that town meeting member made a motion to amend to make the parking portion of the warrant article more restrictive. We presently have 1 space for every 290 square feet. That town meeting member was proposing amending it to 300 or 350 square feet per parking space. And Jean, in my mind correctly, answered, well, the question was, would the planning board support that amendment? And Jean responded that we would not support the amendment. I would propose that if someone were to make a motion, because this has come up, so it's a possibility that has been presented to us, that if somebody were to make a motion to change the parking provision, we do not need to reconvene to vote on that, but to authorize Jean to report that the planning board is not supporting an amendment to that provision, but we wish to stick with 1 space per 290 square feet.
Anyone want to discuss that further? The only thing I would say about that, I think that response pertains whether a proposal is made to make parking less or more restrictive.
Yes.
Either way.
Yes, that's my proposal.
Okay.
So
I would support that.
Okay. Adam, you okay with that?
Yes.
Paul and Jean is nodding her head. Okay.
Yes, I am. Yes. I
Okay.
think that's good to have that dealt with ahead of time right now.
Okay. Anything further? Any more discussion about any other item related to this petition?
Will we be asked, do you think, to comment on Article 10 to appropriate for planning consulting assistance?
We may well. We may well.
Yes, I was going to mention that. Lee provided me with an email. It was only sent to me, but she provides an explanation. It might be good to forward this to everyone, Lee.
Is it
Sure,
lengthy? Is it lengthy, Jean, or could you read it?
I can read it. It's 2 paragraphs. And
Is
if
it okay? Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. In fiscal year 2015, we received an appropriation of $45,000. Examples of projects that were funded under the 2015 appropriation include a build out and traffic analysis for Gould Street Industrial 1, and Reservoir Street industrial districts, 3D modeling and presentation drawings for the proposed Highway Commercial 1 zoning district at the Muzzy Ford and Channel 5 site, and fiscal and traffic impact analysis for the proposed Highway Commercial 1 zoning district. So moving forward, planning consulting assistance funds under the proposed appropriation would, and the appropriation is 75,000, is that correctly?
65, I think. Lee, isn't it 65?
Lee, you're on mute.
Lee, you're muted.
I believe it's 65,000.
Okay, let me just put that in because that's,
It's
I have to
60.
say that. I want to say it right. Okay,
Article 10 is 60, 60.
Oh, then she,
It's 60?
then she reduced it. It's, okay, whatever it is in the warrant, it is.
all right, I'll check.
Okay.
Check warrant. Okay.
It's 60, Gene.
Oh, okay, 60. Thank you, Adam. Okay. So the planning consulting assistance funds of 60,000 under the proposed appropriation would be used to conduct build out traffic and fiscal impact analysis of any zoning initiatives that the planning board has identified as high priority. This will include the remainder work for Highway Commercial 1. It might also include a relook at the zoning along the Chestnut Street corridor to determine what adjustments should be made to encourage the mixed-use development profile anticipated by the 2009 downtown plan, but not yet realized. Additionally, the business district along Highland Avenue between May Street and Rosemary Street, where the Sudbury Farm Supermarket is located, needs to be studied and updated to reflect current long-term planning goals for the block. This district was not updated at the time the Avery Square zoning was created in the mid-1990s, and it's the last business district in the town where the uses and density rules remain unchanged from the 1950s. Finally, funds would be used to help the planning department research and advise appropriate town boards when presented with complex development projects requiring advanced technical input. So that would be what I would say if I was asked to provide any background on how the funds are going to be used.
Sounds good.
Comments? Yes, Adam.
We have Lee, do you know how much of that 60 will be used on the next study for Highway Commercial 1?
I would be giving you an estimate because the traffic component of it is fluctuating in terms of the scope. I would think we would probably use at least half of it.
And you think that would suffice for all the work that we may need for Highway Commercial 1 between now and next town meeting?
I think we'd need at least 30,000. Yes.
Okay.
It all depends on how broadly that traffic study is done. How broad the scope is, and I don't have a new estimate on that because the estimate that I got was based upon new counts being done, which can't happen.
Exactly.
That cost is going to come down. So I think we could probably get most of the work done for $35,000 that needs to be done.
Right. Okay.
May I ask another kind of related question?
Please, Paul, go ahead.
In the special town meeting, Article 1 is for the appropriation of $45,000 for planning and traffic consulting. And in the article information, it talks about this is for the potential rezoning of the sites along Gould Street and 128. Has that article been withdrawn, Lee, or is still?
That article is being withdrawn.
Yes.
It is being withdrawn. Okay. All right. Good. Thank you.
Actually, I mean, I don't know if anybody cares, but my understanding is originally the $60,000 item had been withdrawn and then was reinstated at our urging. Am I right, Lee?
That's correct. I think because there was concern about going forward with the article in the special because it demanded new traffic counts, which didn't seem to be a feasible option. And so by going forward with the planning funds, it gives us, the flexibility to use the monies if we feel that it's appropriate on the highway commercial one and to go beyond just the traffic component of that work.
Okay. Any other questions or thoughts? Okay, not hearing anything. Okay. Lee, any final thoughts on that before we go into this town meeting?
No, I don't have anything else to add.
Okay. Number 2 on our agenda is minutes. I don't think we have any, do we?
None was sent to me.
No, we don't have any.
Okay. Correspondence is number 3 on the agenda. Do we have any correspondence? I don't think so.
No.
All right. And number 4 on the agenda is report from planning director and board members. Lee, do you have anything else?
I have nothing to add beyond what we've already discussed.
Okay. Any board members have any reports they'd like to make? Okay. So, yes.
Adam and I were talking separately today, and Adam raised the question whether those of us who are going to be at town meeting should try to sit together. And I wasn't sure whether they're going to allow that or whether we need to stay within our precinct designation or whether we should try to seek each other out and sit together.
Jean?
There are separate gates for separate precincts. I think that's probably just for the purpose of checking people in. But I think if we come early enough, I plan to be there at about 20 off, and I could be there earlier. We may be able to cluster near each other. And I think we should. I agree, Adam, that that's a good idea.
Ted, are you going to be able to be there?
Yes, I think it's a great idea, although in this case, clustering near one another will be a relative term.
That's right. We're still
Well,
going to
yes.
be 9 feet. We're still going to be a minimum of 9 feet apart.
Right.
I expect the chairs
You
as
also probably
set.
want to try to sit close to one of the mics, I think. So in case you're
Yeah.
called on.
That too, I had that in mind. I will look for a seat, and if you get there before me, look for a seat that's near one of the mics.
I will not be there, but I'll be watching on TV
Oh, you.
or whatever the connection is. And I'll be available, by text or whatever, however you want to reach me. Okay. Anything further?
I move that we recess this meeting until after town meeting adjourns.
Okay. Do I have a second? Did I hear a second?
A second.
Okay, discussion. All in favor, I'm going to call a roll. Ted?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Adam?
Aye.
Jean?
Aye.
And I am also affirmative. Okay, I think that is, that's the end of this meeting for the time being. This meeting is in recess. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to try to be